happen, that is a big deal. And so being here with the restaurant, there's 5 million people that flow through this small city of 5,000 on an annual basis. Last year, over 5 million people, it's a tourist destination, flowed through this small town. And to have this restaurant here that offers Southern cuisine, shrimp and grits, gumbo, you name it, and for the food to be so good and to have the ability to put to support, the kitchen is doing great, but to be able to work with the front office and to bring a talent like Brenda in, who is a master planner, master organizer, he's setting things up, making sure things are clean, in order, straight. All the training that we've had in Surge is now being applied. And then with the things that I do, over a lifetime of flyers and graphics and website development and da 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 da, all the things that we do, leadership and Surge and this in life, and to be able to be mobile with those skills. See, a lot of times people would just focus on, what they're doing in Surge, learning in Surge, but not realizing, there, as Glenn says all the time, 10,000 hours of practice in anything, you become that expert, that specialist. That's everybody on this line. That's everybody on this Zoom. You have become a specialist. And it really takes time to sit down and say, okay, what do I know? What is it that I have learned? And to not say no, like if we would have said no to coming out here, it would have been we would have missed a major part of our life. Little did we know that Brenda's brother, my brother, would have basically a new build for us to stay in. Beautiful homes. Because he told us over the phone, I got a place for you to stay, we got transportation, but a new build. And we're like, wow, this is pretty cool. And then he says, here, the keys to my BMW Sport Wreck. Boom. And you'll be out here for if you guys can stay for 6 weeks, that'd be great. If you can stay longer, that'd be even better. So Brenda, tell them what he said for us going to see my son Cameron in
Oh,
Colorado.
well, my son is moving from from Elkhorn, Nebraska. He's being restationed back to Colorado. So he's moving in June. So he said, okay, Mom, we're moving in June. I want you to come. And, while we're settling, I could play with my grandbaby while they get everything in order. And so I let him talk to my brother yesterday. So he's talking to my brother, and he said, well, yeah, when the next time you going to see your mom? And so Cameron's telling him, well, she's supposed to be coming out in June when we move to help us out. And he said, oh, June. Okay. Well, I'll let her come and she can help you out. And then she has to come back, and then he laughs and my son laughs. And I'm like, oh, you guys think this is funny. But he is like, sis, please stay as long as you can, but it's nice. And what's interesting is because I don't think 5,000 is small, but I guess 5,000 is small, and especially since he's been here for almost 10 years. So he knows everybody. So the other day we had to go to the bank. He wanted to put my name on some accounts. We're in there and we're getting waited on. And one of the bank tellers' daughter worked for him in the restaurant. The bank tellers are, okay, we're eating our way through the restaurant. So it's a real sense of community here, and I think that's one thing that he likes, coming from a small area of Charleston, even though Charleston has really built up quite a bit now. But that really shows you how it is here. It's a big little community, and everybody knows everybody. And so I told Rick, I said, we're driving around in my brother's car. I bet they think it's him, because they all have different cars, different colors. There's what's that in the garage? That's a Mustang, black
It's a
and white
Cobra. It's a
Mustang.
Cobra Mustang.
It's a
Cobra.
Cobra.
I forget what brand that
I don't
is,
know, but
but
it's sweet.
mhm.
It's in the
Gotta be a
garage.
Ford.
And so
Yeah,
oh yes,
Ford.
it is a Ford. It
Yeah,
it, it is a
Mariano.
sweet
Yeah, car
vehicle,
guy.
and
But it's a Cobra.
yeah, he knows the cars. Yeah, and I'm thinking, okay, we could play with that one too, and then I forget his name now. He said, no, you can't play with that. My wife doesn't even drive that one. So it's nice. We're enjoying it, and definitely it is a lot of work. I don't know the last time I've ever physically worked this much. I'm trying to remember, but it's gonna all pay out in the long run. And so what it does, it allows you to continue to grow, continue to learn, and just keep moving. So
But
that's what
yeah,
we're doing. Yeah.
and one of these days here, there's so much to see. If you ever get a chance, look up Antelope Canyon. And of course, the Grand Canyon is about 2 hours, 2.5 hours from here. But Antelope Canyon, Horseshoe Bend, they're all right in here. But there is so much to see. You can imagine as a destination, 5 million people flowing through this small town in this area to do sightseeing and tourism type stuff. That's a lot of people. And the reason is within this radius around this city, there is so much to see, natural wonders. And look up Antelope Canyon. It will blow your mind. And so, but in Bryce Canyon, of course, we're not far from Bryce Canyon, Bryce, Utah, the national park, and all the sites in this area is just incredible. And one of these days we'll get out to see it. Brought my drone with me, and so I plan on flying my drone. And I mean, this is Navajo Nation as well. I mean, just so many things that we don't experience unless we take a step out of our comfort zone. Most people don't take a step out of their comfort zone. But that takes the vision, that takes the planning, that takes an awareness of who you are, what you have, the skill sets you have, the business that you're in, what you have to offer to people, and when you do, the situations, I believe this, show up. Who would have known, Brenda, we would be here in Page, Arizona when we left Colorado and to go to Charleston to get to Page? There is a plan. There is a plan. And the question is, and that's why I'm glad, Brendan, when we was talking about this, with the decision that had to be made real quick, it's like the decision to move to Charleston. We get a call from base housing saying, hey, we got a 4-bedroom home for you guys. You have 3 days to make a decision and you have 30 days to move. Back to you. Still there, Brenda?
Are you there, Rick? Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
here. I'm here. Yeah. I was distracted. Somebody saw me. I have to hide. Somebody somebody saw me and asked me a question. I'm sorry.
It's a whole new world.
Yeah. Did you I don't know if you asked me, did you ask me a question, Rick? I had taken the phone away from my.
No, I was just saying about how we had to make a quick decision on but you know what though?
Mm.
In preparation and how everybody on this call is actually prepared beyond what they even probably realize to respond to the things that will show up in life. And it always it
Mhm.
always will come down to a yes or a no. One of the things I can tell you, never say I'm not ready for it. I'm not prepared for it. Because in that first step, and that's why I knew that we had to come out here because Brenda was like learning this system to manage the front office, the front of the house, and the excitement to learn something new and how she was mastering this system before we even came out here. I'm like, okay, there's something to this. Because you get an empowerment to do anything that you're supposed to do. And sometimes people recognize it, sometimes they don't. Sometimes people override it and let their natural feelings and fear step in. But back to you, Brenda.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, it's true. But my whole thing is, especially when it comes to our Service 365 business, because that's the vehicle that we have to do something with. And I think if we look at it, do with this whole line program that they're putting together, you still have to work your business. You have to still talk to people, but it's all how much you want to do, when you want to do it, and how you want to do it. And once you start that, you can do anything. You really can. It's really up to you. It's a mindset that hasn't changed. It's pretty much positive affirmations. So everything is still the same. What happens, and even for myself, life, okay, so we're in a totally different situation now. We have to remember to do things. Like we have to remember when we were home, it was easy. I'd fill up my jug, drink water all day, drink water all day. And this is just an example. Now I'm having to remember, oh my goodness, I got to drink water because I'll start off and then before you know it, it's 11:30 because that's how fast it's moving. That's how fast, people are coming in and out. And then you have people who are busting the tables and keeping the tables cleared off. It's just a fast moving pace. And so you have to remind yourself to do certain things or it won't get done. And that's the same thing with even something as simple as taking my vitamins. Forgot to bring my vitamins. Okay, fine. I put it in my purse. But then even when I put it in my purse, I get home. I'm like, oh man, I didn't take my vitamins for today because things are moving fast and changing. And so that's the same thing with your business. Life is going on. Things are moving fast and changing. So you want to make sure that you put a note down because I'm still trying to figure out what am I going to do and how am I going to remember those things. So either I'm going to sit them out on my desk. So when I'm running back and forth, I'll see them. And that's what a vision board is for. When you want something, you see your vision board, and people have gotten so creative and put their vision board on their laptop. So that's something that they see all the time. So you figure that's one thing that you can do just to remember, oh yeah, I didn't do this for Serge, or I didn't do that for Serge. And thank you guys, because I remembered there was a call, but we were changing the drink menu. So we were here inputting the new changes for the drink menu. So it can be up and running today. And it's so funny because, when you tell me to do something, let's do it. And so my brother, I'm going to change the lunch menu. I have to do this. I'm going to change some of the stuff on the lunch menu. So I'm moving. We're getting the lunch menu done. And then we're I yell, okay, this is going to be ready to be, we're getting ready to print these out. They're like, no, wait a minute. We're not ready. I said, well, y'all need to speak up because you said we had a new lunch menu and we need to put it in, so let's do it. So that kind of made me laugh. And my brother and Rick's like, don't tell your sister she needs to do something unless you're ready for her to do it. But the goal is to get it up and running. The goal is to make sure that I'm not here for the rest of my life. And in order to do that, we need to hurry up and implement things and get it all in place. But I'm having fun, and we haven't forgotten our Surge business, even though it seemed like it this morning when with the call. But we have it, and we're working it. And what's so great is that Rick does have an office, so he can still work the different businesses and things that he's doing along with this. And that's what makes it work, and that's what makes the time go by fast. So even if you're doing something, just organize and make sure that you're doing all that you know to do, and keep doing what you're doing. And remembering, I think the most important thing that anybody can do is to remember those positive affirmations, because we can forget. We can start going back into our same routine. So we really want to remember those positive affirmations and how important the mindset is, because if you're not doing those kind of things, you're going to definitely forget. And then when you forget, oh, that's another thing that's interesting around here. I don't know if you would call it Santa Ana winds, but boy, they get some serious winds. And I just saw Chance. He's one of the guys that work here. He found the placemat for the outside of the door that had blew all the way up this little, I guess it's an alleyway, walkway where they have all the different stores that people walk up and down and see. And it just blew away. And he put it back down there. And I'm laughing. I'm like, I bet that's going to blow away again. But, you know, that's what they do. And that's what they deal with. And that's what anything, you just deal with what you have. So the winds actually stop traffic. The winds actually shut down the internet. Sometimes the internet will just shut down because of the winds being so severe here. And so we're learning all this stuff. And I was telling Rick, it's interesting, and that's the same thing with businesses. Every business have something different. Every state has something different you have to deal with. Charleston has to deal with the rain and the hurricanes, and Colorado, the snow. Here, the winds, and it does get cold too here in the winter. And so it's really interesting. You're going to have different changes that happen no matter where you are, no matter where you live. And it's just getting used to it. And that's the same thing with your business. It's going to be different for everybody, no matter, it can be the same business, but you're not the same person. So it's going to be different for everybody. So you want to make sure that however it is for you, it's working for you. And I think that's what I like about Surge is the fact that however you want to work it, you work it because it's your business. And that's what makes it work. And that's why people are trying to get back here. Not so much because I think the line pay, or however they're calling that now, I think they were just looking for something. I think they wanted to come back. They were just looking to be invited. They were looking for something new. And I think with that in place, it was easy to rile them up and get them all excited about coming back to the business. Because I really think they probably was looking for something to do anyway. And that just allows them the freedom to get it done and to do it.
Power line,
So I think say that again.
the power line.
What about the power line?
Well, I thought you were talking about the power line being new and people being attracted to that and wanting to reactivate.
Yeah, that's what the power line. Yeah, that's what it's called, the power line. And so I think people like new, people like different, and they're attracted to that. And that's why I'm going to reactivate my site now so I'll be able to do what I need to do.
To
And
say
so
something
people are
on
used
that,
to that.
nothing
On the
changes.
power line?
Well, I'm just saying, nothing changes until a person changes, no matter what.
Mm-hmm,
Because
mm-hmm.
the power line is cool and it's something above and beyond that we have, but you're still working your business and
Right.
you're still successful in your business and you're still learning your business and sharing your business
Mm-hmm,
and hitting bonuses and
mm-hmm,
getting rank in your business and getting promoted in your business.
mm-hmm,
And the power line pays you more, right?
mm-hmm,
But
mm-hmm.
a person has to, and that's one of the things that's so interesting because people will get excited about something, but nothing actually happens until they change.
Right.
Otherwise,
Yes.
it's just excitement, you know.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
And but like you said, the affirmations, the vision, the changing from the old to the new person, being able to fit the power line into a new work ethic, a new way of thinking, it will be the same as everything else until we change.
mm-hmm,
Change your
mm-hmm,
mind,
mm-hmm,
change your money. That's why a person
mm-hmm,
can
mm-hmm,
focus on changing their mind and who they are, and as a result of that, change their money. You
mm-hmm.
know, so no matter how many things, because many of us who have been in the business for a while, we've seen different. Oh my Lord, this is amazing. Let's run. But until they change something on the inside, they really don't have the sustainability, to make a substantial difference in running. It's
Mm-hmm.
just it's not there. It's flat,
Mm-hmm.
you know. That's
Yeah.
why
Mm-hmm.
that's why we are so consistent in the things that we're doing because we are continually changing. Even us coming here is a change.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is. It is. And so you
Greetings.
figure, go ahead, honey.
Hello. Totally agree with what you're saying. And I was doing a walk a few minutes ago. And one of the things I was talking about as I was walking was preparation.
Mm.
You know, life is full of adjustments. But when you're prepared, it's like, okay, I already know to do this right here. I'm already doing this right here. You just continue and you just excel where you are. Yesterday, you know, that thing right over there might have changed, or yes, this is going on in this country or whatever. But this is my business. I own this.
Right.
The ownership is what fires me up, is that we actually have a tool in our hands that we had been speaking as children, that families would be working together, and we're actually living that dream out loud. Our family is here, our children are here, our cousins are here, our brothers and sisters are here, and our aunts and uncles are here. It's amazing when I look at, you know, our line of business owners and the different levels, pastors and ministers and um, business of truck owners and people in the Pentagon and, you know,
Mm.
colonels. It's just ever growing. Um, and a lot of the people in our family, they own businesses. So it's
Right.
like it's just a shift that, okay, I'm gonna get in this line over here, but they were already in the line. They were already suited up. So you're just making a tiny adjustment to say, well, if there's more for me here, I want that too. So boom, of course I'm going to get in the power line, and then of course I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to tell some other people about it. But we're already running the business. That hasn't changed. The business is
Mm-hmm.
great. It is ever changing, it is ever growing, it is ever increasing. We like that too. Because we're always expanding here. We're always wanting to be the best, the number one. That's who we are. That's what we
Mm-hmm.
represent in this company. And so that's what we came here for. So we're not
Right.
surprised that we're getting greater and greater and greater. That's what's supposed to be happening. But to bring my
Mhm.
part to the table, that was one thing I was talking about. We have a part to bring to the table, whatever that is. And I'm challenging, we're at the place, started 2 years ago, challenging our leaders to step up a little higher. Step
Yes.
up into the seat and own it. Bring your unique self to the table. What is it that excites you about being here? What, you know, is it special needs travel? Is it hotel travel? Because Glenn and I have been out here, and some of the other ones in the team and across the nation, I'm seeing the posts, are out here. We've been invited to hotels to put our eyeballs, because why? They want to partner with the travel advisors in their area, because we're helping them to expand. Even with the cruise ships that are docked here in Seattle, but all over the country. And it's not limited. If you would like to go to California for one of their lunchtime events, guess what? It's a plane ride away. It's an
Mm.
enrollment to say, I'm coming. They know you're coming. Get on the plane, go sit and take a nice tour of the ship up in California, even overseas, if that's your
Right.
desire. But that's what we own. Back to you, Rick and Brenda.
Good.
You
That's
know,
true. That's really. Go ahead,
one
Gary.
thing, one thing you said, make an adjustment. It's the word I use is commitment.
Mm.
Commitment, and people have to understand that it will become more obvious that you better put your commitment to your business, your security, your family, and they're starting to wake up that all those things that they depended on in the past are being adjusted. That's where the adjustment comes in. So you need to commit to yourself for your own financial security in the future. So I do that word I'm putting out there is commitment. Back to you, Rick and Brenda.
It's so true.
Yeah, it's true. And you know what's interesting about when you say commitment, Glenn? You have to be committed to yourself. You know what I mean? You have to be committed to what you want for yourself. And I think when you do that, you're going to see a big change on how you even see things. Because when you say, okay, I'm going to make this commitment, I'm going to do this, I'm going to whatever. And, that's what's so nice. It's whatever you want it to be. It doesn't have to be what someone else is telling you to do. And everybody has their own little, because we had that one group for a minute there. We don't go to sleep, we fall asleep. And we making 100 calls a day. And it worked, but for how long? So when you start off, that's why I really like Atomic Habits, because Atomic Habits, it tells you that anything you want to stop, you have to start off slow, because if you put too much into it, you're not going to want to go back and do it. So whatever it is you want to do, start off slow. And then people want, I need an accountability partner. That's not working. Once you get tired, then you're gonna quit answering the phone. So what you want to do is you want to make sure you do enough for yourself. And if you're going to say 15 minutes, well, just make sure you set your alarm clock, and whatever it is you need to do, make sure you do it for 15 minutes, because that is what's going to help you keep your goal and keep doing it. I know people, when they first come into business, they get really excited. I'm going to learn this. I'm going to learn this. And then they spend a whole half a day doing stuff. And before you know it, they don't want to do it again because they have other things to do. And it's like, oh man, I can't do this because I have to do this, this, and this. So what you have to do is you have to make sure that you make your commitment is not something that you will not be able to commit to. So whatever it is, make sure it's something that you will be able to commit to and you will follow through. So I
that's
think
so
that's
true.
one thing that you have to know. Yeah.
Hey,
Go ahead.
hey, Rick and Brenda,
Yes.
everybody.
Yes.
How you doing this morning?
Hey,
First of all,
Ed.
beautiful spring morning out here in Washington. And on what you were saying, Brenda, it's commitment is really the key to making a dream come true. If we get hung up on time, or it's not happening, it's not doing this quick enough, I wouldn't say get hung up on that. Have your timing and all that. Have your schedule. Have your data completion and all that. Set your goals as far as that goes and go after it. But even if you might miss the mark or miss the timing, as long as you put the work in every day, you're gonna get there. And I would say, if it's your dream, if it's your strongest desire, if this is what you want out of your life, don't get hung up on how long it's going to take. Just know it's going to take time. But as you do something every day, of course, you get closer to it. That's the simplistic part of a journey. You take one step and you're getting closer to the destination. The destination never moves. You do. So as you continue to grow, you take every day as a learning lesson. You get better at your craft. You practice. You do what you need to do to make this dream come true. But like I said, I wouldn't get hung up on, it's taking too long. It's never going to happen. Don't start talking to yourself like that. Encourage yourself and know that as long as I do something today, I'm going to get there.
It's good.
It's like I said, every journey starts with one step and continues with one step. You just don't stop walking and say, you know what, it'll be nice to get there one day. But you're not walking. You're not doing anything. Why are you expecting anything to change? That's insanity.
Right.
But to continue to work and drive your feet towards your designated goal of what you want, that is more powerful than anybody saying anything, in a sense, to where I'm gonna do this, and they never take a step. Take your steps, take your licks, take it, get out. Like they say now in this generation, I got it out the mud. I got it from the ground up. That takes time. I've never seen a crop go from seed to fruit in like a week. I've never seen that. And if it happens, there's something wrong. But, it takes time. So as long as you continue to put in the work and keep your eyes focused on a designated goal, you will get there. Take many steps, celebrate many wins, celebrate the growth, as you go. That way you have mile markers in your mind, like, I did this, I did this, I did this, which means you're doing something. Celebrate that, no matter how small. And when it's big, everybody's gonna know because everybody's gonna see it. But all the little stuff they don't see, the day in and day out things that you do to achieve your dream and your strongest desire in this business, one, ain't nobody really gonna see it. They're gonna see the results, but they're not gonna see the day-to-day things like that. So don't worry about what people see, in that sense, as far as you striving. That's on you. This is your dream. This is your desire. This is what you want. So make it.
That's right.
It
It's true.
is true, and that's what Atomic Habits teaches, that you take the small steps. So that is so true. You do a little bit of time, and then what is her name? Lisa Nichols. She teaches that you celebrate the small wins, so the big wins will come. And even if it's something that says, "Oh, I did start today," celebrate that you did something. One thing that we're working on here, which is interesting, is we're working on a checklist for the different areas. And so, because now what they're doing now, it will never work when it gets as busy as it's going to get, is they wait for the manager to say, you can leave now. That should not be. They should be able to have a checklist. Once their checklist is completed, clock out and leave, as long as they're doing everything on their checklist. So we're working on a checklist. And it's funny because even when people start off, they start off one way and they get used to it. So now they look so confused. They look confused when you show them another way. And then the winds, this guy just walked by. The winds are so bad here that people wrap scarves around their face. And so this guy actually has a scarf wrapped around his face. I guess he does a lot of walking and whatever. But that, I went over to a whole nother subject. But yeah, so they get confused, and it's like, okay, well, what do I do now? What do I do? When something's written down, and that's why a vision board is so important. All your goals and dreams, when it's written down, you tend to be able to understand it better, because I can talk till I'm blue in my face. Only check in at the kiosk at the serving station. Only check in at the kiosk at the only check in. And because they've been doing it since they opened, checking in at the kiosk where the hostess stands, they go right there every time. I'm like, no, we changed it. Only go, So I'm literally like directing, go up this way, go up that way. So now when it's written down, and these are the things you have to do, you see it, and then that's what you do. I do this, I do A, I do B, and you don't have to even remember it. You just see it and you do it. So I think that's why it is so important to start off slow, but definitely have it written down, so then you don't have to wonder, what did I forget? What did I remember? I have this note thing on my phone now, and I just walk around, and when somebody says something, I say it in my phone, and then at the end of the day, I look at all my notes, and then I say, my brother, you need to order this, you need to order that, you need to do this, you need to do that. And so by that way, it's all in my phone, and I use my phone as my note, and it allows me to keep. Okay, hold on one second.
You don't have to start to be great, or you don't have to be great, rather, to start, but you have to start to be great. And I love what you were saying, Ed, there. Yes, commitment is the key to making dreams come true. And as you were speaking, I was just thinking of a few things. Commitment is an attitude. Commitment is a decision.
Okay, sorry about that.
Commitment
I'm
is a
trying to hide in the
lifestyle.
corner, but I'm still being seen. Go ahead.
I was just saying commitment is a lifestyle. I was just saying, Brenda, that commitment is an attitude. Commitment is a decision. Commitment is a lifestyle. Commitment is a discipline. And that you count the cost, of being committed. And
Mm-hmm.
I know us moving out here, I say moving, into Page, Arizona, and how committed we are to here. And Brenda
Right.
has, just like everything, has become the center of a lot of activity, and people are
Hey, babe.
depending on her for a lot of things. Go ahead.
I know we usually go another hour, but I really have to go now. So I'm gonna just say it bye to everybody. And
Well, let me just say real quick, I got an email or a message from Bernice Robinson's sister that Bernice Robinson passed away, and many of us know her. And Brenda just didn't hear me, but many of us know Bernice Robinson, and she was in the business, and for a long time, with all of us, she went to many conventions, and I know Brenda and I flew out to Boston and did presentations out in Boston with her. But just continue to lift up her family. And I know she was sick for quite some time, and she was just getting older. And they moved her into a nursing facility, or assisted living. And but she passed away, I think, yesterday. So just keep the family in your prayers. But as we
Thanks.
yeah, most everybody on this call, I think you guys all remember Bernice Robinson from
Absolutely.
from the different events,
Indeed.
and she was a joy, right?
Oh my goodness. Wow. Wow,
No
wow.
doubt.
She in her excellent
Inspiring.
self. Just excellent. What a beautiful, and we have several pictures. And we would definitely miss her. I remember when, things started going on, I had called and talked with her sister. But we will not forget our memories. Running around, oh my goodness, in St. Louis, and she was a game changer. Her perky, uplifting vibe that she brought to the table, and that beautiful art. Oh my goodness, she was a wonderful, beautiful person. Absolutely.
This business is not just about business. Business is about relationships and
Hmm.
family, and sharing memories and creating memories together, and living our lives and supporting one another and being there for each other. A lot of times people will look at this business as, oh yeah, it's a travel business. You got to talk to people. You got to sell something. That has nothing to do with anything. The business, the true value of this business is us knowing each other, us loving each other, us supporting each other, having one person that believes in you. You know, that makes all the difference in the world. And that one person may not be a family member, it may not be, but having one person to say, I know you can make it. I know you're a good person. I know that this is not something, that you're doing in vain. Jesus.
We get it,
The
Rick.
things we're doing are not in vain.
No.
We're helping each other. That's why I love Mariano and him always being there, and all the support through snowstorms, through ups and downs, and everybody on this call. I just speak Mariano because he's the first person I talked to in the business. And all the things that we did when we opened up the e-commerce travel training center. And when
Yeah,
things
back
start
at you.
going bad in the business and people start leaving, Mariano, Lou, and of course everybody, Chantel, you guys, all being there, but driving through the snow to come out and to do a presentation when nobody was actually doing presentations online. And but anyhow, man, I just want you guys to know I love you and I appreciate you.
Back at you, brother.
Right back at you. Absolutely.
Now, see, I'm really
Amen.
working here real time. I'm working here real time. And so, I got a job I'm doing. You guys got me up here crying and everything.
All is well.
Normally we're
Yeah.
home, right?
Yep.
But anyhow, man, I just want you guys to know that that you are loved and that this is more than just a business. You know, this is a lifestyle. This is a family. Anybody have anything before we jump off?
Don't
Well, it's just too
don't
bad more
forget
people don't have what we
convention.
got.
What's that?
Go ahead,
It's
Mariano.
just
I'll
too
come up
bad more,
after you.
okay, it's just too bad that more people don't have what we have.
Yes, that is the
Wow.
truth.
Glenn and I were talking about that. We have some remarkable relationships here, and it is a big, huge family, and it's pretty personal. I mean, pretty much everybody on this call, it's personal, and it's wide. It's not just one team; it's the whole company. Because we've been here since 2007, like some of you, and we've gotten to know so many people. So check on Mary. That's her sister. If you're led to do that, we would definitely be doing that. And then don't forget about convention. You can actually hold that hotel right now before they run out of, the company has a great $286 on the Friday to Saturday. That is an excellent price. And then we also, in our vortex or in our business, we also have rooms available as well. But go ahead and make, as Glenn said, make the commitment. We make the commitment. A lot of times, just like, you can be talking, 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 but when you make that commitment, it is something that shifts. You're a part of a company and your input matters. Whether you think you're this tiny little minute person, nobody hears that ever. But when you commit to say, you know what? I don't know how I am going to actually get there, but I'm going to commit and say, let me go ahead and hold that room. Let me go ahead and start looking for those plane tickets. Let me go ahead and pay for that convention. Things, when you make that intention, doors start opening up for you. I'm telling you what, we're living here. It's happened like that so many times. Look, even the time we got on the bus, which we're not doing anymore. Hello. But it was quite an experience, but I'm just saying to you, when you make that commitment, what's on the other side of the commitment? Is that your promotion that you've been waiting on? Is that a person that's waiting on your yes for you to show up in that room to be encouraged to go to their next level? Because it's bigger than just us. Thank you so much for all your commitment here. We are definitely thankful for each one of you every day. Every day you make a difference in our lives. Back at you, Rick and Brenda.
Wow, wow, wow. I love it. Anybody else before we jump off?
Hey, good morning, Rick.
Hey, Chris.
How's it go? How's the news journey? I'm so glad y'all get a new adventure in your life. Um, Couple quick things. One, Brenda, welcome to the business. I'm a 15-year former bartender, and the busier it gets, the more you forget. So just get used to writing down and then losing the piece of paper you wrote it down on. But anyway, about I grew up in a town in Kansas, about 5,000 people. So yes, you're right. Everybody knows everybody, and it's everything. Did like dad be in my car and getting flagged down, and vice versa and stuff. But anyway, for those of you that don't know Antelope Canyon, look at your screensaver. It's on there. And so also you got the wave out there too, Rick. And the wave has about a 4 to 6 month waiting list to get into it. But it's we did not do the wave we were out there, but when me and my son were out there 2 years ago, we did Antelope Canyon and we enjoyed it as much, if not more, than the Grand Canyon. So, but yeah, the Antelope and the wave are both on your screensavers. If you don't know what they are, that's going to be flip through them and you'll see them.
You know, we're out here and we're partnered kind of with a tour company that my brother, he's real good friends with the owner of the tour company, And so we'll be doing some tours out here, big time, going to Antelope Canyon. And I'm going to check out the wave too. And boy, you know I'm a picture taker, so I'm gonna be taking some pictures.
Oh yeah, right. I think I saw where the wave. I know the wave is on limited access because it's on uh Indian land and stuff, but I
Right,
think it's
right, right.
limited access. But I think Antelope Canyon is going to limited access too. I don't know if it's for
Well,
both canyons or just one, because I think there's two or three canyons at Antelope Canyon you can tour.
well, let me
And
put it this
I
way. I've got the ends.
yeah, I see this. But yeah. But
Yeah,
yeah, no, like
we
it
have the
just
ends big time. Even
yeah,
on the res, even on Navajo land, you know, we've got the
right.
serious ends,
Yeah. Yeah, it
which is
sounds like it.
amazing. Mm-hmm,
Yeah, but
mm-hmm,
we
mm-hmm.
did we enjoyed that one as much, which the Grand Canyon we just went on a tour. We didn't really go hoofing it and explore it for ourselves. We just
Wow.
had the hotel pick up, hotel drop off at Grand Canyon. But maybe that's why we didn't enjoy it quite as much. But we did get a full 12 hours there out of it and enjoyed every minute of it. But unfortunately, we're unable to do the wave.
Those are memories though, man. That's awesome. Those are
Yes,
sweet
sir.
memories. I got to look up the wave now. Keith, you know about the wave? The wave? Yeah, I got to look up the wave now because I got to go. You know, that's one thing about our travel business, man. There's something inside of us we want to explore, we want to see,
Right.
and then we want to tell people, like you're sharing this with me now, man. It's like I'm there, and we haven't had a chance to even get there yet. But I've seen the pictures of Antelope Canyon,
Oh, it's
and I can't
awesome.
wait to get inside with all the colors.
Yes, it's very awesome.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Always good to have you on, Chris. So we're still doing our meeting tonight, and I'm sure we'll
Yes.
get the time right. Chantel and Glenn keep us straight on coming from the East Coast to, here, it's the 3 hour difference instead of the 2 hour difference mountain time, because it's Utah and Navajo Nation. And so we always got to make sure and we're almost like Pacific time most of the time. They said sometimes it'll change. But anyhow, hey, if you can jump on the call tonight, we'll be doing the call tonight, 9 o'clock Eastern. I think that's 6 o'clock Pacific or, Page, Arizona time. So God bless everybody. And if you can make it tonight, and as Chantel mentioned, book your convention room. It's going to be on. The business is on. We're in major momentum in the business. But don't let the business momentum outpace you. Oh, by the way, Adrian, I think I saw your text. I would just use the restaurant coupon for that. And that's probably the simplest. Use the restaurant coupon and they can draw and use that for any kind of prizes they want to use. So, but I would
Okay,
just go
well,
with that. Any other
no,
thoughts on that? Tell the folks what you were planning to do, what you're trying to do there, real quick.
okay. We had at the Urban League, we had a man from the Rotary Club and come and speak and talk about what they're doing and how they like to raise money for causes and services. They're service minded, and so um, they're going around to different high schools and all that kind of stuff. But long story short, they're having a big fundraiser in June, and he wants all the small Black businesses to contribute to something to a basket, and they want to have more than one basket and do an auction for the baskets to help raise the money, and plus along with other fun activities. But I was trying to see what I could put in there from our business, and I have tried restaurant.com before, and the only thing is it's usually smaller restaurants that sometimes people haven't heard of. But so that's why I was
Yeah.
just wondering, you know, what else I could put in the basket, because a hotel voucher would be, you really pretty much have to pay out of your pocket for it to put a hotel voucher in for 2 nights, because one night wouldn't really be much, appealing.
Is it in Tacoma or,
Y- yes, it is.
I would look and go through, and you going through restaurants.com on our site, right?
Yes, I'll
How,
look through it again and see. But the last time I looked, it was several little restaurants that sometimes some you heard of and some you haven't. I mean, there's a Bob's Barbecue, but it's not a restaurant you want to go sit down in. It's one you want to get orders from, kind of
I
thing.
would say, but it's free.
It is. Well, we pay, or
I mean, I'm just
I mean,
saying for the person that's getting it, it's free.
yes, it is. Everything in the basket. Well, they're paying in the auction. It's a silent auction.
Yeah.
So it's a value.
So
The more
let
you
me-
put in it, the more valuable the basket is.
What I'd like to suggest is rather than having a restaurant.com certificate for a specific restaurant,
Mm-hmm.
just leave it open so that they can choose one maybe in a different town if they're traveling.
Wow, you
'Cause
can do that,
that
huh?
coupon can be used at a restaurant anywhere in the United States.
Okay, I didn't know you could do that. I thought it had to be a specific restaurant.
No, you can get one that's just open, okay, like a $25 restaurant.com, and then they can cash it in for whatever restaurant of their choice.
Oh, wow. That's good.
Oh yeah, that would be better than getting a specific one.
Now, do you know the guy?
No, we just met him. He just presented to the group, and he's been with the Rotary Club for several years, helping raise funds for different causes.
Now check this out. And I know what Mariano's thinking. I know what Ed's thinking. I know what Glenn's thinking. On the side, you want to give him funding by travel.info and let him
Okay.
know that this is another way that he can use to raise money. The Vortex funding site, or the Vortex little short presentation, funding by travel.info. And on the side, just to let him know, here's something I'd love for you to take a look at as an opportunity that you can use to raise money for the different causes.
You mean
And then,
attach it to the restaurant.com?
no, this is just on the side telling them.
Oh,
you
and
can
I
do
did
this.
discuss it with him. I did
Huh?
discuss it because I did discuss that with him because we had a few minutes afterwards, but it was kind of like standing in line to talk, so I had to talk really fast. And I did tell him about it, and he sounded interested, but he was getting so much input then that he was taking it in, but he didn't quite process it. But
Okay, so now what you would do if you've got his number, you would just reference, as I was sharing with you, the Vortex, and you seem to be pretty excited about it. Here's a short video that explains the program. And
okay,
then you can text that to him or email whatever you have, and just kind of connect to when you was talking to him. But here's a short video that explains the fundraising program using travel.
okay,
And I can work with you on that too. I mean, if you need more
okay,
words, or I know Ed and Glenn and Chantel, they both got the words also. But it's really just as simple as that. Just getting the video to him, funding by travel.info, and just doing an informal text. As I was talking to you, here is a short video that explains the program. We raise money with travel. And, love you. Take a look, and then let's have a discussion.
okay.
Let me know what you like best.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I didn't get his info. I had to go through my other teacher to get it,
Oh,
but
he's
I can get
around
it.
though. You can track him
Yes,
down.
he is around. Yes.
Hey,
Okay.
there's nobody out of reach of a Surge 365 person.
Yes, that's true. Okay. Thank
All
you.
right. Okay. Anybody else have anything? All right, then. If you can make it tonight, definitely jump on, and we'll see you tonight on the presentation. Well, God bless everybody. And as Brenda says,
God bless you too.
what does Brenda normally say?
We are the most trusted travel team.
Most trusted travel team. Surge 365.
It's Surge 365. We'll see everybody.
And see you